Focus on the mission like your life depends on it, because it does. Have you ever felt like giving up when things got too hard? Maybe you started something important, but found yourself losing steam when the challenges piled up. What if the real secret to success isn't about being perfect or having everything figured out, but simply about staying loyal to what matters most, no matter how tough it gets? This audiobook is for anyone who has ever felt stuck or discouraged. I'm going to show you why sticking to your purpose, even when it's painful or lonely, is the key that changes everything. You don't have to be the strongest or the fastest, you just have to refuse to quit. Stay with me, and by the end, you'll understand how to keep going when everyone else walks away. Let's get real about what it takes to focus on your mission and never lose sight of your goal. Chapter 1. Define your mission and commit without hesitation today. If you want to build a life of strength, direction, and fulfillment, you need a mission, not a vague idea, not a dream you scribble down and forget. A mission, something clear, something you wake up for and fight through resistance for. Without it, your energy scatters, your actions feel hollow. You might stay busy but not effective. The days pass, but you don't grow. The truth is, most people are drifting. They say they want more, but they're not committed. They haven't defined what they're truly here to do. They're reacting to life, not leading it. And nothing changes until that changes. If your life feels off track, your problem isn't motivation, it's clarity. You're not lacking energy. You're lacking direction. The human mind craves focus. It wants to know where it's going. When you don't have a clear target, your focus becomes fragile. You start paying attention to what doesn't matter. You let noise in. You chase the approval of people who don't even know your name. You say yes to things that drain your time and spirit. And you end your days with regret, wondering why it all feels so empty. This is the cost of not having a mission. When you don't know your purpose, your life becomes about survival instead of growth. You drift toward comfort. You avoid challenges. You get caught in cycles that look like productivity, but are really just procrastination in disguise. A mission changes that. It gives your life a spine, a backbone, something unshakable that holds you up when things get hard, and things will get hard. That's not a threat, it's reality. If you don't decide what matters to you, the world will decide for you. And what the world wants is for you to stay distracted and small. That's why defining your mission is not optional. It's the foundation of everything else. A mission isn't a fantasy, it's a decision. You don't wait for it to appear. You create it. You get brutally honest about who you want to become, what you want to give, and what you're no longer willing to tolerate. You carve it out of the chaos with thought and fire. You decide what your life will stand for and what it won't. Your mission is the truth you stop running from. It's the calling you stop postponing. It's the standard you raise when you're tired of feeling average. And once you define it, you don't look back. A real mission doesn't require anyone else's approval. It comes from within. It doesn't need applause. It needs execution. When you know your mission, you stop chasing shortcuts. You stop begging for permission. You stop trying to fit into places you were never meant to belong. You finally stand firm. You finally act with purpose. You finally start to lead yourself. And the moment you lead yourself, your life changes. You start to attract opportunities that match your effort. You start to build habits that align with your future. You start to cut out what weakens you. You start to win in the quiet before anyone else sees it. If you're tired of feeling behind, start here. Ask yourself directly, what am I here to do with the time I have? What drives me so deeply that I can no longer ignore it? What am I willing to struggle for, sacrifice for, and stand for, even when no one understands? The answers won't come all at once, but they will come if you have the courage to listen. Your mission isn't hidden. It's been speaking to you for years, through your pain, through your frustration, through your silence, through that feeling in your chest that says I'm meant for more. But you've been pushing it aside. You've been too busy pleasing people and avoiding discomfort. You've been too afraid to sit alone and face yourself. That stops now. You define your mission by taking full responsibility for your life. You stop waiting for a perfect time. You stop waiting to feel ready. You stop waiting for signs. The only sign you need is the discomfort you feel when you know you're not living aligned. That feeling is your wake-up call. Don't numb it. Use it. Turn it into fuel. Sit down in a quiet room and write out the truth. Not what sounds impressive, not what makes others clap, but what matters to you. What future version of yourself would make you proud? What kind of impact do you want your life to have? What principles are you willing to live and die by? Once you know that, your priorities shift. You stop chasing 10 goals and lock in on one mission. You simplify. You cut out the noise. You don't need more tools or tactics. You need more honesty. You need more courage to commit. You can study personal development forever and still go nowhere if you don't commit to a mission that drives your actions. Your mission doesn't need to be complicated. It needs to be real. Real enough to make you wake up early. Real enough to make you sacrifice comfort. Real enough to make you fight for your evolution, even when it hurts. And once you've defined your mission, you don't hesitate. You commit. You move. You start taking action like your life depends on it, because it does. Every day you delay, you lose momentum. Every excuse, every fear, every distraction you give into, it pulls you further from the life you could have lived. The longer you stay on the fence, the more your confidence rots. You start doubting yourself. You start settling. You start playing small. But when you commit, something shifts inside you. You walk differently. You think differently. You feel responsible for your potential. You stop chasing dopamine and start building discipline. And no, the path won't be perfect, but perfection was never the point. Progress is. You'll make mistakes. You'll fall short. You'll question yourself. That's normal. But when your mission is strong, you keep going. You don't let failure define you. You use it. You get better. You move with resilience. That's what commitment means. It means you show up anyway. It means you stay focused even when no one is clapping. It means you don't negotiate with weakness. You don't water down your standards just because the world is comfortable with average. You hold the line. People will doubt you. They'll question your intensity. They'll tell you to slow down. Ignore them. They're not chasing your mission. You are. They don't have to understand it. You do. This is your life, your time, your fire, and you don't owe anyone an explanation for doing what's right for you. Most people gave up on themselves a long time ago. Don't let their fear infect your future. Stay rooted. Stay hungry. Stay locked in on your mission. When you wake up every morning, ask yourself one question. Is what I'm doing today aligned with my mission? If the answer is no, fix it. Don't waste time on what doesn't build you. Don't waste energy on what distracts you. Don't waste days on paths that lead nowhere. Life is short. You don't get a second chance at this moment. And you don't need motivation. You need a reason. Your mission is your reason. You don't need to be the smartest. You don't need to be the most talented. But you must be clear. You must be committed. You must be willing to suffer for what you believe in. That's how you separate yourself. That's how you rise. When others quit, you endure. When others doubt, you execute. When others talk, you work. That's the difference between drifting and dominating, between a wasted life and a powerful legacy. It starts today. You stop postponing. You stop explaining. You stop apologizing for wanting more. You define your mission and you commit. Not tomorrow, not next week. Now. Because every second you waste is time stolen from the life you were meant to live. Don't just exist. Decide. Decide who you will become. Decide what you will fight for. Decide what you will leave behind. That's what it means to live with mission. And the truth is, once you find that mission, the noise fades. The doubts shrink. The distractions lose their power. You don't need external validation. You don't crave attention. You don't fear judgment. Because you're too busy building, too focused on the work, too locked in on the future you refuse to let slip away. That's how you win. Not by chasing everything, but by focusing on the one thing that matters most. Define your mission, then build the discipline to honor it. Every day. No matter how you feel, no matter how hard it gets, because at the end of your life, you won't remember the comfort. You'll remember the fight, the focus, the fire. Make it count. Make it matter. Make it yours. Chapter 2. Eliminate distractions and protect your mental focus daily. You will never master your life until you master your focus. That's where it all begins. Your future, your growth, your success, they live or die based on your ability to eliminate the noise and protect your mental clarity. And the truth is, most people lose this battle before the day even starts. They wake up and reach for their phone. They scroll, they consume, they react, and before they've even stood up straight, they've surrendered their mind to distractions that do nothing for their progress. That cycle keeps them stuck, overwhelmed, exhausted by invisible forces. And if you're not intentional, the same thing will keep happening to you. You can't afford that anymore. Not if you're serious about your mission. Not if you're truly hungry to change your life. You have to become dangerous with your attention, ruthless with your boundaries. The quality of your focus determines the quality of your future. That's not an opinion, that's a fact. The world is louder than ever, and everything around you is built to hijack your attention. Notifications, ads, gossip, news, other people's drama, it's all noise. And if you let it in, you're letting it take control of your direction. What you focus on grows. So if your attention is scattered, your results will be too. Your job is to guard your mind like it's sacred, because it is. Mental focus isn't about being busy, it's about being clear. Clear about what matters. Clear about what moves the needle. Clear about what deserves your energy. If you want to rise above average, if you want to live a life most people never will, you've got to think in ways most people never do. Most people let distractions run their lives. They chase every shiny thing. They say yes to every request. They scroll for hours but can't focus for 5 minutes. That's not ambition. That's self-sabotage in disguise. You can't chase everything and expect to be excellent at anything. You can't be accessible to everyone and still have room to build your future. If you don't set boundaries, distractions will decide your destiny for you. They'll rob you of time, clarity, creativity, and discipline. The only way to take back control is to deliberately eliminate what weakens you. You have to design your life around focus, not convenience. Convenience is the enemy of greatness. What's easy is rarely what's best, and what's best is rarely easy. Start by taking full inventory of your life. Ask yourself, what's stealing my attention? What habits waste my time but bring me no closer to my goals? Who drains me mentally but adds no value to my journey? What apps, what environments, what thought patterns pull me away from progress? You have to be brutally honest, because distractions don't always look like distractions. Sometimes they look like entertainment. Sometimes they look like comfort. Sometimes they look like obligations. But if they're pulling you away from your mission, they're costing you more than you think. You need to audit your digital life. Your phone isn't just a tool, it's a portal. Every app, every notification, every scroll is a vote for where your energy goes. And most people have no idea how many times they vote against themselves every day. Turn off every non-essential notification. Remove apps that waste your time. Block sites that pull you into rabbit holes. Use your phone with purpose, or it will use you with precision. Protecting your focus also means protecting your environment. Your space affects your mind. Clutter around you becomes clutter inside you. Clean your space. Organize your tools. Create a place that signals clarity and intention. When your environment is clean, your mind breathes. When your surroundings are chaotic, your thoughts become noisy. If you want to think sharper, live simpler. And you must control your time like it's your most limited resource, because it is. Time is not renewable. You don't get back what you waste. Stop letting others fill your schedule with their priorities. Learn to say no without apology. Every time you say yes to something that doesn't matter, you're saying no to what does. That kind of mental debt piles up. You feel it in the form of stress, burnout, and stagnation. Clear your calendar like you clear your closet. If it doesn't fit your goals, remove it. There's also the internal noise, the overthinking, the constant mental chatter, the urge to compare yourself to others. That noise will kill your clarity if you let it. Focus isn't just about removing external distractions, it's about quieting your inner chaos. You do that by grounding yourself in the present. When your mind starts spinning, breathe. Bring your attention back to what's in front of you. One task, one move, one moment. Most of your anxiety isn't about the task. It's about all the things you're thinking while trying to do the task. Calm your thoughts. Focus on action. Let movement silence the noise. High performers don't just work hard. They protect their focus with discipline. They build systems that reduce friction. They structure their day so they don't have to rely on motivation. Morning routines, deep work blocks, digital boundaries. They set their life up so their mind stays sharp, not scattered. That's not accidental, it's engineered. You have to build the same structure. You need focus rituals, not just goals. You need recovery practices, not just hustle. Focus isn't just a tool, it's a way of life. Discipline isn't about being rigid, it's about being free, free from distraction, free from chaos, free from the stress of never feeling caught up. When you remove distractions, your life speeds up in the best way. Ideas flow easier, creativity rises, execution improves. And you feel it. You feel your power returning. You feel more in control of your mind, your results, and your day. That sense of control is where momentum begins, and momentum is what builds greatness. There's no secret here. There's no hidden hack. The formula is simple. Eliminate what weakens you, protect what strengthens you, and focus every day on what matters most. But just because it's simple doesn't mean it's easy. You'll be tempted. You'll feel the pull of old habits. You'll want to check, scroll, procrastinate, drift. That's your old identity trying to survive. You've got to replace it with a stronger one. You don't need more time. You need more focus in the time you already have. Build discipline by creating a daily plan and sticking to it no matter how you feel. Don't start your day reacting. Start it with intention. Use a timer. Use a to-do list. Use deep work sessions. Do whatever it takes to make focus your new normal. Reward yourself for staying locked in. Build identity-based habits. When you focus deeply, say to yourself, "This is who I am now." Repeat it. Prove it. Make it your standard, because the truth is, focused people win. Not because they're smarter, but because they show up with full presence while everyone else is scattered. You can't control everything, but you can control what you give your attention to. And that choice changes everything. Life isn't about doing more, it's about doing the right things with relentless focus. Choose where your attention goes, and everything else follows. Your mind is a garden. What you plant grows. Distractions are weeds. If you don't remove them, they'll choke the life out of your progress. But when you protect your focus, you protect your future. And remember, nobody is coming to clear the noise for you. That's your job. Nobody's going to hand you focus on a silver platter. You have to create it, guard it, and live by it. And when you do, everything begins to shift. Your days feel cleaner. Your actions feel sharper. Your results become more consistent. That's not an accident. It's the reward for doing what most won't. This is your time to draw a line. From this moment forward, you decide what gets your focus. You decide what deserves your energy. You decide what enters your mind and what gets blocked out. That's how you take your power back. That's how you create progress. That's how you rise. The world is noisy, but your mission is clear. Don't trade clarity for chaos. Don't give up your future for the comfort of distraction. Get focused, stay focused, and protect it with everything you've got. Because your dreams aren't waiting. Your mission isn't going to complete itself. Your time is now. And if you want to live at your highest level, there is no other path. You must eliminate distractions. You must protect your focus daily. And you must do it with the kind of discipline that makes excuses disappear. Focus is the foundation. Every victory starts in your mind. Every breakthrough is born from concentration. Every level you want to reach depends on how well you can direct your attention. So silence the noise. Strengthen your vision, lock in on your mission, and refuse to be moved. You don't need to be perfect. You just need to be focused. Daily, relentlessly, unapologetically. That's how you win. That's how you rise. That's how you change everything. Chapter 3. Build unshakable discipline by showing up every single day. There is one truth no one wants to admit. Your life will only change when you stop negotiating with your excuses and start showing up no matter what. Not when it's easy. Not when you feel motivated. Every single day. That's the price of real transformation. That's the entrance fee to a stronger, more focused, more disciplined version of you. And if you're tired of being stuck, tired of wishing, tired of falling back into the same patterns that kill your progress, then this is the moment you decide to become the kind of person who shows up even when it's uncomfortable, even when it's inconvenient, even when no one claps for you. You see, discipline isn't built in loud moments, it's built in silence. It's built in those quiet hours where you don't want to do it, but you do it anyway. It's built when nobody's watching, nobody's praising you, and nobody's coming to push you forward. That's the test. That's where your strength is developed. Most people never get there because they're addicted to comfort. They chase short-term relief instead of long-term greatness. They start strong, but they never stay consistent. And that inconsistency robs them of momentum, confidence, and results. But you're different. Or you wouldn't be here. You know there's something greater inside you, something powerful, something focused, something unstoppable, but it's trapped behind weak habits and emotional excuses. And the only way to unlock that potential is to get disciplined like your life depends on it. Because it does. You're not here just to survive. You're here to evolve, and you cannot evolve without discipline, without the grit to show up when it's hard, without the willpower to move forward when motivation disappears, because it will. It always does. Motivation is a spark. Discipline is the engine. Motivation gets you started. Discipline keeps you moving. And the people who win long-term don't rely on feelings, they rely on habits. They don't hope they'll be in the mood. They build routines so powerful that showing up becomes non-negotiable. That's how you create real change. Not by waiting for the perfect day. Not by chasing inspiration, but by training yourself to take action no matter what mood you're in. That's what builds mental toughness. That's what creates self-respect. That's what earns results that actually last. Every time you show up when you don't feel like it, you cast a vote for the person you're becoming. And those votes add up. They create identity. The goal isn't just to complete a task, it's to become the kind of person who follows through, who doesn't fold under pressure, who does the hard thing simply because they said they would. That identity, disciplined, focused, relentless, that's who you really are beneath the noise. You've just been distracted, pulled in too many directions, allowing emotions to decide your actions. But you're done with that now. Because here's what most people never understand. Discipline is freedom. It's not a cage, it's the key that unlocks everything you want. The body you want, the focus you want, the financial life, the mental clarity, the confidence. It all comes from discipline. You don't find discipline, you build it. Every morning you rise early instead of sleeping in. Every time you say no to what feels good now in favor of what builds your future. Every time you keep a promise to yourself, especially when it's hard. That's how it's built. One decision at a time. And yes, it will be uncomfortable. That's the point. Comfort is not where growth happens. Growth is forged in resistance. Every time you push through that internal friction, every time you act when your mind says rest, you rewire your brain. You take back control. You teach yourself that emotions are not in charge. You are. And that's when things begin to shift. That's when your life starts to align with your highest potential. Not because life got easier, but because you got stronger. Think about the goals you've set in the past. How many times did you start with fire in your eyes, only to burn out a week later? That wasn't a lack of desire. That was a lack of consistency. The missing link is never intensity, it's sustainability. Discipline gives you that sustainability. It turns a temporary push into a permanent path. It transforms big dreams into daily actions. And when those daily actions stack up, your life begins to change in ways you never imagined. So how do you build that kind of unshakable discipline? You start small. You stop trying to overhaul everything at once. Pick one commitment. Something meaningful. Something slightly outside your comfort zone. Then do it daily, no matter what. Don't wait until you feel ready. Don't wait until your schedule clears up. Begin now, imperfectly, and refuse to stop. Because discipline isn't a feeling, It's a decision, it's a mindset, and it's available to anyone willing to pay the price. That price is repetition. It's boredom. It's fatigue. It's sacrifice. But it's also confidence, strength, self-mastery. And those are the things that elevate your entire life. Discipline doesn't just help you achieve goals, it changes how you see yourself. When you know you can rely on yourself, you walk differently, you think differently. You stop making excuses because you've built a track record of action. And that changes everything. No one will build that for you. No one can install that mindset in your brain. You have to earn it. You have to prove to yourself, day after day, that you can count on your own effort. That's what separates the committed from the comfortable, the winners from the wishers. And if you want to win, you have to show up, even when you're tired, even when life throws punches, even when progress feels invisible. Because discipline isn't always sexy. Sometimes it looks like showing up when nothing's happening. Sometimes it's doing the work when no one claps, no one notices, and there's no instant reward. But that's when it matters most. That's when you're planting seeds. That's when you're laying the foundation for greatness. And those who endure long enough to stay consistent eventually reap what others were too soft to sow. You don't get to greatness by avoiding hard things. You get there by leaning into them, by embracing the grind, by using discomfort as a compass instead of a reason to quit. The moment you stop fearing the hard days and start seeing them as opportunities, that's the moment everything changes. You become dangerous. Not because life got easier, but because you stopped backing down. And you don't need to be extreme. You just need to be consistent. Every day you do the work, you gain power. Every day you avoid the temptation to delay. You build resilience. And that resilience is what helps you keep going when others fold. You become dependable. Not just to others, but to yourself. That's where your true strength lies. Not in talent, not in hype, in showing up over and over, especially when it's hard. Understand this: the future you want is already waiting for you, but it's on the other side of daily discipline. No shortcuts, no hacks, just you versus the comfort that's been holding you back. You want to lead yourself out of average. Discipline is the only way. You want to build a life that feels powerful, purposeful, and free. Then you have to become the person who refuses to skip the reps, who refuses to break promises to themselves, who refuses to let emotions run the show. And it doesn't matter where you're starting from. It doesn't matter how many times you've failed before. What matters is what you do now. You can't rewrite the past, but you can absolutely rewrite your future. Starting with today. Starting with one disciplined action, followed by another and another. Stack them. Build momentum. Let the results compound until your old life no longer fits who you've become. You're not weak. You're not lazy. You've just been undisciplined. And that can change. Starting right now. The version of you who's consistent, focused, and relentless is already inside you. It's time to wake them up. It's time to take the hits and keep moving. To push when it's painful. To rise every time you fall. And to understand that discipline is the bridge between where you are and where you want to be. So stop waiting. Stop stalling. Stop convincing yourself it's okay to stay stuck. You've got goals to hit. You've got a life to build. You've got greatness inside you, but it's buried beneath excuses. Dig it out. Show up today. Show up tomorrow. Show up the next day. And keep showing up until showing up is just who you are. No more hoping. No more waiting for the right time. No more relying on bursts of motivation that never last. Discipline is your new standard. And once you set that standard, you never go back. Because the moment you make discipline your identity, nothing can stop you. Not the pain, not the pressure, not the obstacles. Because you've already made the decision. You will not quit. You will not give up. You will keep showing up. Every single day. Until your actions match your ambition. Until your life reflects your potential. Until discipline becomes who you are. Forever. Chapter 4. Strengthen your mindset by embracing challenges with courage. The life you want will never come to you if you keep running from the things that are meant to shape you. There's a hard truth most people avoid. Your greatest growth is hidden inside the challenges you keep trying to avoid. That fear, that stress, that resistance you feel, those aren't signs to run, they're signs to lean in. Because the moment you stop wishing for an easier path and start embracing the discomfort, you stop being a prisoner to your circumstances and start becoming the architect of your transformation. You don't need to be fearless. You need to act while you're scared. That's what courage is. That's what builds a mindset that cannot be broken. The people who grow, evolve and rise above the ordinary aren't the ones who had it easy. They're the ones who faced the storm and walked through it anyway. They didn't wait until they felt brave. They moved forward despite the fear. And because of that, they became stronger, sharper, more resilient. You see, courage doesn't erase the challenge. It activates the part of you that's capable of handling it. And if you want to strengthen your mind, if you want to walk through life with confidence and clarity, you need to start embracing the things you've been avoiding. The pain you're dodging is the very thing designed to build your strength. That failure you're afraid of is where your next breakthrough lives. That uncomfortable conversation, that leap into the unknown, that scary decision, they're all invitations to rise. But most people ignore the invitation. They hide, they delay, they tell themselves, "I'm not ready yet." But waiting never makes you ready. Courage is not something you find, it's something you choose, in the moment, in the chaos, in the fear. You choose to face it anyway. That choice rewires your mind. That decision shapes your character. Your brain wants safety. It's wired for survival, not greatness. That's why your default reaction is to protect yourself from discomfort. But your life will never change until you override that default setting and decide to welcome the pain that leads to growth. Every single challenge you face is a mental gym, and every time you avoid the workout, you miss the opportunity to build strength. The goal is not to eliminate hardship, it's to develop the inner power to walk through it and come out stronger on the other side. Courage isn't the absence of fear. It's the decision that your purpose matters more than your fear. It's standing in the fire and refusing to run. It's looking at your limitations, your doubts, your insecurities and saying, "You don't get to control me anymore." That's how you build an unbreakable mindset. You don't build it by repeating affirmations in a comfortable room. You build it by taking action when your hands are shaking. You build it by doing the hard thing when everything in you wants to retreat. That's what separates the committed from the comfortable. That's what makes your mind stronger than any obstacle in front of you. You've been through pain. You've been through uncertainty. And you're still here. Which means you've already proven that you're capable of handling more than you give yourself credit for. But surviving isn't enough anymore. It's time to rise. It's time to evolve. And to do that, you need to lean into every challenge with the belief that you were built for it. That challenge isn't your enemy. It's your opportunity. Every hardship is a teacher. Every obstacle is a lesson. And if you start seeing life through that lens, your fear starts to lose its power over you. There's something powerful about doing what scares you. Something healing about choosing to face the thing you think you can't handle. Because when you confront it, you realize it wasn't as big as you thought. It wasn't as heavy as your mind made it out to be. That's how fear works. It exaggerates. It inflates the worst-case scenario. It convinces you that avoidance is safety, but the real danger is staying the same. The real danger is living with regret because you never took the shot. You never had the hard conversation. You never walked into the unknown. And now you're left wondering what could have happened if you had just been brave enough to try. You've got dreams inside you. You've got visions, ideas, goals, and they're not going to manifest through comfort. They're going to require boldness. They're going to demand that you become someone who can handle rejection, failure, criticism, setbacks, and keep going anyway. That kind of mindset doesn't show up by accident. It's built intentionally, by running toward the hard things, by asking what's the lesson here, instead of why me. That mental shift is everything, because the story you tell yourself during a challenge will decide whether you grow or retreat. And I get it, it's not easy. Some days you want to give up. Some moments hit you so hard you question everything. But those are the moments that define you. Those are the turning points. That's where courage shows up, not in comfort, but in chaos. Not when you feel strong, but when everything feels uncertain and you take the next step anyway. That's the difference between staying stuck and leveling up. It's not about talent. It's not about luck. It's about grit. It's about choosing to keep going even when your mind screams for you to stop. Your mind is like a muscle, and just like a muscle, it grows through resistance. You have to put it under pressure. You have to stretch it, stress it, push it beyond its current limits. That's how you build mental toughness. That's how you develop resilience. And once your mind is strong, everything else in your life changes. You stop reacting emotionally to every setback. You stop folding under pressure. You start leading yourself with clarity, with discipline, with courage. And that changes how you show up in the world. Courage isn't about being loud. It's about being steady. It's about being the one who keeps moving when everyone else is waiting for the fear to go away. It's about trusting yourself enough to walk into the unknown with your head up, knowing that whatever happens you'll figure it out. And you will. Because challenges aren't walls, they're mirrors. They reflect back to you the parts of yourself that need to be refined, strengthened, upgraded. And once you start using those challenges as tools, you stop fearing them. Think about the most powerful people you admire, the people who inspire you. They didn't get there by avoiding pain. They got there by facing it head-on. They built their mindset through action. They became unshakable by embracing the chaos. And that means you can too. The only difference is they made a choice, a decision to be courageous daily. Not once. Not when it was convenient. Every day. That's the standard you need to set for yourself. That's the level you need to rise to. And no, you won't always feel ready. That's the point. Readiness is not a requirement. Commitment is. Growth begins when you stop waiting to feel brave and start moving despite the fear. Every step you take through that fear strengthens your mindset. It builds trust in yourself. It expands what you believe is possible. And once your belief expands, so does your potential. Everything you want becomes available when you stop shrinking back and start rising up. There's a version of you that doesn't flinch at pressure. A version that welcomes difficulty because they know it's making them sharper. A version that walks into challenge with a calm mind and a focused heart. That version isn't somewhere far away. That version is already inside you. It's buried under layers of fear, doubt, hesitation, but it's there. And every courageous step you take brings you closer to it. You don't become brave overnight. You become brave one challenge at a time. one decision at a time, one act of courage at a time. The world won't hand you strength. It won't deliver resilience to your doorstep. You've got to earn it. You've got to go through the fire. And instead of avoiding the fire, you walk into it with a quiet confidence that says, "This will not break me. This will build me." And guess what? It will, if you let it. If you stop running from it and start learning from it. If you start showing up like your future depends on it, because it does. This is your life. No one else is coming to fix it. No one else can face your fears for you. No one else can build your mindset. That's your job. And it starts now. Not tomorrow. Not next week. The moment you decide to meet every challenge with courage is the moment you begin rewriting your story. And not just any story. The story of someone who refused to live in fear. The story of someone who walked through every storm and came out stronger. The story of someone who took full ownership of their growth and never looked back. So take the leap. Have the conversation. Show up scared. Step into the unknown. Embrace the challenge. Because every time you do, you evolve. Every time you act with courage, you become more of who you're meant to be. This is the path. This is the work. And the sooner you accept it, the sooner your life begins to change forever. Now it's on you. Choose courage. Lean into the pain. Train your mind to rise under pressure. And never forget, your challenges are not here to destroy you. They are here to reveal the warrior within you. Chapter 5. Take full control of your habits and environment now. If you don't take full control of your habits and environment right now, they will control you for the rest of your life, and they will drag you into a version of yourself that you'll regret becoming. Every single day, whether you're conscious of it or not, your life is being shaped, not by random chance, not by luck, but by the small repeated actions you take and the environment you put yourself in. That's the silent architect behind everything you're becoming. The reason you feel stuck, the reason you wake up exhausted, unfocused, and unmotivated. It's not because you're broken, it's because your habits are leading you in the wrong direction, and your environment is reinforcing every one of them. People don't suddenly lose control of their lives. They drift, slowly, silently. One overlooked decision at a time. One ignored habit at a time. One cluttered room. One toxic conversation. One more scroll. One more excuse. Until one day they look around and can't recognize who they've become. And that happens not because they failed, but because they never took control. You see, you can't outperform your habits. You can't rise above a destructive environment while pretending you'll just push through it. That's not how this works. Your habits are the operating system of your life. Your environment is the code running in the background, shaping your decisions without asking for your permission. If you don't take command of them with intensity, they'll quietly keep you average, stuck, distracted, and emotionally exhausted. And you'll wonder why your goals never get traction. You need to understand something. There is no neutral ground when it comes to habits. Everything you do is either pulling you closer to your highest self or dragging you further away from it. That late-night binge session, that snooze button, that constant chaos in your space, that messy desktop, that friend who drains you, they all add up. They all count. You're either stacking wins or stacking regret. Most people are not failing because of a lack of talent or intelligence. They're failing because their daily habits are silently suffocating their potential. They have all the dreams, but none of the discipline. They have all the goals, but they keep operating in the same cluttered, chaotic, unfocused environment that's never produced anything close to the life they want. And that's the brutal truth no one wants to admit. You can't keep telling yourself, "I'll fix it later." There is no later when your life is being drained daily by poor choices and uncontrolled surroundings. That phone that steals your morning focus, that junk food in your kitchen, that social media feed filled with negativity. Those small things are shaping you. They're training your mind to stay distracted, your body to stay lazy, and your spirit to stay numb. But the moment you become intentional, everything changes. You don't need more time. You need better habits. You don't need more motivation. You need a system. You need structure. You need to create an environment that makes it harder to fail and easier to stay disciplined. The most successful people in the world aren't more gifted. They've just eliminated everything that pulls them off track. They've built lives that support their standards, not sabotage them. And if you want to win, you have to do the same. That means being ruthless with your routines. That means deleting the apps that destroy your attention. That means cleaning your space until it breathes clarity into your mind. That means cutting off the conversations that leave you drained and uninspired. That means creating friction around your bad habits so they become inconvenient, and building systems around your good ones so they become automatic. Want to stop procrastinating? Don't just hope for willpower. Design your space so that there's nothing left to distract you. Remove temptation. Prepare your tools the night before. Create triggers that cue your mind into action. Want to get in shape? Stop filling your fridge with the food you know you reach for when you're tired and emotional. Make health the default, not the exception. Want to grow mentally? Replace empty entertainment with books, podcasts, challenges that push you. Surround yourself with people who expect more from you than excuses. You've got to start thinking like a designer, not a drifter. A designer takes full responsibility for the inputs, the layout, the systems, the flow. They don't leave anything up to luck, and neither should you. Your life is too valuable to be built on randomness. You have the power to shape every part of your daily environment. And once you realize that, you stop making excuses and start making changes. Your brain adapts to what it's exposed to consistently. Feed it discipline. It becomes sharper. Feed it chaos. It becomes reactive. Feed it purpose. It becomes focused. Feed it comfort. It becomes lazy. And this is happening every single day, whether you notice it or not. That's why it's not about dramatic change. It's about controlled repetition. It's about creating an environment and set of habits that support the identity you want to build, not the one you're trying to escape. If your environment makes success feel like an uphill battle, change the environment. If your daily routine makes discipline feel like punishment, redesign the routine. Because here's the truth. Success isn't hard when your environment is built to support it. But if your environment is fighting you every day, even the strongest motivation won't save you. You can't win if your surroundings are rigged for your failure. And this isn't about being perfect. This is about being strategic. This is about removing the things that lower your energy, weaken your focus, and rob your time. You already know what those things are. You don't need another list of habits. You need the courage to let go of the things that no longer serve the person you're trying to become. Don't wait until life forces you to change. Don't wait until the consequences hit you in the face. That day will come if you keep ignoring what you know needs to be fixed. You've got one shot at this life, and the quality of it will be determined by the quality of your habits and the intentionality of your surroundings. That's the foundation. That's the real work. That's the stuff that nobody sees but determines everything. You want to be mentally stronger. Build habits that demand focus. You want to be physically healthier. Create a routine that eliminates junk decisions. You want to have more peace. Design your environment to be clean, calm, and aligned with your goals. You want to reach your full potential. Then stop living like you've got unlimited time. Stop surrounding yourself with distractions. Stop lying to yourself about how tomorrow you'll get serious. You are living the result of your habits right now. Not your dreams, not your goals, your habits. You are becoming the person your daily choices create. And the beautiful thing is, this is under your control. You get to rewire your life, starting now. You get to walk into your space and decide nothing here will be left to chance. My phone doesn't get to hijack my mind. My kitchen doesn't get to pull me into mindless eating. My mornings don't get to begin with chaos. My evenings don't belong to distractions. My attention is mine. My time is mine. My life is mine. And I'm taking full command of it now. This is your turning point. The moment you decide to no longer tolerate the version of you that lives by default. The moment you draw the line and say, from now on I'm designing everything. My habits, my routines, my space, my schedule, my energy. No more waiting, no more proofing, no more hoping it fixes itself. It's on me, and I'm ready to take full responsibility for how I show up. Don't underestimate how quickly things can change when you align your environment with your intentions. 1 week of clarity can change your entire month. 1 month of focused habits can reset your entire trajectory. A single year of living intentionally can transform your whole identity. But none of that starts until you decide that from this moment forward, nothing about your life will be left to chance. So let this be your wake-up call. Your life isn't just something you experience, it's something you create. And the raw materials are your daily habits and your immediate environment. That's the blueprint. That's where power lives. That's where transformation begins. Change the way you live. Control what surrounds you. Rewire your default settings. And watch how quickly you become the person you were meant to be. Now go. Take back your habits. Take back your space. Take back your life, because no one else will do it for you, and your future self is waiting on you to rise. Chapter 6. Create a routine that drives consistent progress forward. If you want your life to change, if you want to move from frustration and stagnation to unstoppable momentum, then the secret isn't in luck, talent, or motivation, it's in your routine. Every breakthrough, every achievement, every success story is powered by one simple thing, a routine that pushes progress forward, day after day, no matter how small the steps feel. The people who accomplish what others only dream of don't wake up superhuman. They don't rely on rare moments of inspiration or perfect conditions. They rely on a rhythm, a system, a set of habits stacked so solidly that moving forward becomes inevitable. Let me ask you this. How many times have you started with big dreams only to fall off the path within days? How often have you felt that crushing disappointment of seeing no real progress, even though you put in the effort? The truth is, without a routine built to drive consistent progress, even your best intentions will collapse under the weight of life's chaos. You're fighting the tide without an anchor. A powerful routine isn't about packing your day with endless tasks or exhausting yourself with unrealistic goals. It's about designing a life where every action, no matter how small, compounds over time to create unstoppable forward motion. It's not magic. It's simple math. Consistency beats intensity every time. A small win every day beats sporadic bursts of effort. Here's what most people miss. The progress you crave is the sum of your daily choices. If you don't have a routine that aligns with your goals, then your days will be hijacked by distractions, overwhelm, and a slow erosion of your dreams. But once you create a routine that becomes your backbone, you reclaim control. You set the pace. You dictate your future. Think about the last time you felt proud of yourself. Chances are, it came from something you did repeatedly over time. Maybe it was a fitness goal, learning a skill, or sticking to a creative project. What made that possible wasn't some sudden burst of genius. It was a routine that made showing up automatic. That's what you're building here. A lifestyle where progress is not optional but inevitable. Building this routine starts with clarity. What exactly do you want to move forward on? Success isn't vague, it's precise. Define your goal so sharply that you can see it clearly in your mind's eye every day. When your goals are fuzzy, your routine will be too. Precision in your vision breeds precision in your actions. Next, break your goal down into daily manageable chunks. If you want to write a book, your routine isn't about writing 5,000 words on one day and nothing for the next 4. It's about writing 300 words every day, consistently, without fail. If you want to get stronger, it's not about a grueling workout once a month. It's about showing up for 20 minutes every day, building habit muscle alongside physical muscle. But routines aren't built in a vacuum. Your environment and mindset must support them. If your space is chaotic and your mind is cluttered, your routine will crumble. Create rituals that prepare you mentally and physically to enter your routine zone. This might mean starting your morning with a few minutes of silence or setting up your workspace the night before. These small rituals set the tone, cue your brain, and make following through easier. One of the greatest mistakes people make is trying to overhaul everything at once. Radical change feels exciting but rarely sticks. The key to creating a routine that drives consistent progress is to start small and build momentum. Focus on 1 or 2 core habits that move the needle, and once they become automatic, layer in more. This creates a foundation that won't collapse under pressure. You need to recognize that discipline is not about willpower alone. It's about systems that remove the decision fatigue. The fewer choices you have to make each day about whether or not to act, the easier it becomes to stay consistent. Structure your day so that the most important tasks happen when your energy is highest. Shield yourself from distractions and create boundaries that protect your focus. Another overlooked truth is that progress isn't always linear. Some days you will soar, other days you will struggle. The routine isn't there to punish you for slipping. It's there to keep you anchored so you don't get lost. It's the safety net that catches you when motivation fades. And when you understand that routine is your lifeline, you start to welcome structure, not resist it. You must also build in reflection. A routine without review is like driving blindfolded. Regularly check in with yourself. What's working? What's not? Adjust your habits, tweak your environment, celebrate your small wins to keep your motivation alive. This feedback loop is how you turn a routine into a living, breathing engine of growth. Think about the most successful people you admire. Their routines aren't glamorous, but they're relentless. They guard their time like a fortress. They honor their rituals like sacred commitments. They know that the secret to extraordinary results lies not in luck, but in the power of consistent effort multiplied over months and years. If you want your life to shift, if you want to build momentum that propels you through obstacles, then stop waiting for the right moment or perfect conditions. Start now by creating a routine so powerful that it carries you forward even when you don't feel like it. A routine that transforms frustration into progress and doubt into confidence. This isn't about perfection, it's about persistence. It's about making your daily actions reflect your deepest desires, because your routine is the bridge between where you are and where you want to be. Cross that bridge every single day, and you'll wake up shocked at how far you've come. You have everything you need to start. You just need to take the first step, decide what matters most, commit to a simple daily practice, and protect it fiercely. Build your day around habits that fuel your growth, not drain your energy. Remove distractions that steal your time and focus. Create rhythms that align your mind and body for success. When you do this, progress will stop feeling like a struggle and start feeling like a natural consequence of how you live. You will become unstoppable because your routine will be your engine, your anchor, and your guide. No matter the challenges, no matter the setbacks, your forward motion will never cease. So don't wait for motivation to strike. Don't wait for conditions to be perfect. The most successful person you can become is waiting on the other side of consistent action. Build your routine. Own your progress, and watch your life transform faster than you ever imagined possible. Now it's your turn. Craft the routine that will drive you forward, protect it with everything you have, and show up for yourself every day. Because the future you want doesn't happen by chance, it happens by choice. Make that choice now and never look back. Chapter 7. Track your growth and hold yourself fully accountable. If you don't track your growth, you're not improving, you're guessing, drifting, and slowly lying to yourself. Every day you wake up with two choices: evolve or repeat. But how can you truly evolve if you don't know where you stand? How can you break patterns, build momentum, and conquer your goals if you're not being brutally honest about your progress? You can't fix what you don't measure. You can't grow if you refuse to face where you've fallen short. And you definitely can't win if you keep running from the truth. You see, the people who transform their lives, who rise from nothing, who climb out of failure, who shatter their limits, they all do one thing relentlessly: they track, they measure. They hold themselves accountable when it's uncomfortable, when it's painful, when it forces them to confront the very gaps they've been trying to ignore. They don't wait for someone to rescue them. They look themselves in the mirror and say, "It's on me, all of it, and I will do better." Because accountability is not about shame. It's not about beating yourself up. It's about refusing to lie to yourself ever again. It's about owning every inch of your path, your choices, your discipline, your actions. When you track your progress, you shine a light on the truth. And when you know the truth, you can change it. You can redirect it. You can rise. Think about how many people talk big. They say they want more. They say they're working on themselves. But when you ask them, "What did you do yesterday to get closer to your goal?" they stumble. They don't know. That's the difference between those who grow and those who wish. One group talks, the other one tracks. You need a system, not in your head, not in vague feelings on paper, in your calendar, in your journal, something physical, something visible. Because progress is emotional, but growth is data. You need to know what's working, what's failing, and what needs to change. You need to know when you slipped, how often you showed up, and what patterns are killing your momentum. You're not here to live life on autopilot. You're not here to keep waking up with regret. You're here to become someone powerful, someone focused, Someone disciplined enough to say, "This is who I was last month. And this is who I am now. And you better believe I'm going to be even better next month." You can't hold yourself accountable if you're still addicted to avoiding discomfort. Growth isn't convenient. It forces you to pay attention. It forces you to say, "I wasted time today," or "I made excuses again," or "I didn't show up the way I should have." And yes, it stings. But that sting is where your strength is built. That sting is the signal that you care enough to do something about it. Start small. You don't need to overhaul your whole life in one night. But you do need to start writing things down. Track your habits. Track your thoughts. Track your goals. What did you say you were going to do this week? Did you actually do it, or did you rationalize your way out of it again? The numbers don't lie. The patterns are real, and once you track them, you gain the power to change them. Most people are terrified of accountability because it forces them to admit they're not living up to their potential. But if you're tired of feeling stuck, if you're exhausted from spinning in circles, then accountability is the only path to freedom. It's the only way to break the chains of procrastination, self-sabotage, and inconsistency. And here's the truth no one wants to say out loud: if you're not tracking your growth, you're subconsciously choosing to stay where you are. Because tracking creates clarity, and clarity eliminates excuses. When you track, you can't hide behind lies anymore. You can't say you're working hard when your actions prove otherwise. And that honesty, it sets you free. It strips away the fluff and gives you a clean slate to rebuild, stronger, sharper, and more focused than ever before. You need to start seeing accountability as your superpower. It's not a punishment, it's your weapon. It's how you separate yourself from the masses. It's how you move faster while others stay confused. When you hold yourself accountable, you stop being a victim of your circumstances and become the creator of your destiny. Every single day, ask yourself, what did I do today that moved me forward? If you can't answer that clearly, then you didn't move. You stayed still. You coasted. And the longer you stay in that fog, the harder it becomes to get out. But the moment you start tracking, you awaken something in yourself, a deeper hunger, a sharper edge, a greater respect for your own time and energy. And let me tell you something, most people will never realize it's not about tracking just the wins. You need to track the failures too, the skipped workouts, the distractions, the emotional dips, all of it, because you learn more from the days you fall than the days you fly. Those are the moments that show you where the leaks are, and you can't patch what you pretend isn't broken. You want to grow, then you need to be obsessed with self-awareness. You need to build the habit of checking in with yourself every single day. Did you follow through? Did you show up the way you promised yourself you would? If not, why? What got in the way? What needs to change? This kind of reflection isn't optional, it's mandatory if you're serious about leveling up. And here's the beautiful part. Once you get into the rhythm of tracking your growth and holding yourself accountable, something powerful happens. You start to believe in yourself again. You see the evidence that you're not just spinning your wheels. You see the progress stack up. You see the momentum build. And that momentum becomes your fuel. It drives you harder. It pushes you further. It silences the doubts. You'll stop needing external validation. You won't care about applause because your own scoreboard will be loud enough. You'll look back at who you were last month, last year, and feel this fire in your chest. That's what it feels like to respect your journey. That's what it feels like to know you're becoming someone that even your past self would be proud of. This isn't about being perfect. You will mess up. You will fall short. But the difference now is that you won't lie to yourself about it. You'll track it, learn from it, and come back sharper the next day. Because now you're operating on a higher frequency. You've outgrown excuses. You've outgrown the fantasy of overnight success. You're in it for the long haul. You're building a foundation so solid that nothing can shake you. From this day forward, I want you to treat your goals like sacred promises. And just like any serious promise, you need to hold yourself to it with evidence, with numbers, with reflection. That's how you build trust with yourself. That's how you stop starting over. That's how you become unshakable. So here's what I want you to do tonight. Before you sleep, take out a notebook or open a file and write down the most important goal in your life right now. Then write down the one action you'll take every day to move toward it. Commit to tracking it for the next 30 days. Every night, check in. Did you follow through? If not, why not? If yes, how did it feel? Watch what happens. Watch how your mindset shifts. Watch how your confidence grows. Watch how your life begins to change. Because once you start tracking your growth and holding yourself fully accountable, you stop being someone who just talks about change. You become someone who lives it. So don't wait for life to force you to get serious. Choose to get serious now. Build the habit of self-honesty. Fall in love with progress, even when it's slow. And never again let a single day pass without knowing exactly how far you've come and exactly where you're going next. Track it, own it, dominate it, and become someone you can finally be proud of. Chapter 8. Surround yourself with people who push you forward. If you're always the strongest person in the room, you're in the wrong room, and it's killing your growth. You can be disciplined, you can be talented, you can even be obsessed with becoming the best version of yourself. But if you're surrounded by people who drain you, distract you, or downplay your vision, you'll always feel like you're running uphill with weights around your ankles. The people around you shape how high you rise or how long you stay stuck. Their energy bleeds into your focus. Their standards start becoming your ceiling. Their doubts become your second voice when you're alone at night, questioning yourself. You don't even realize it at first. You think you're just tired. You think maybe you're losing motivation. But what's really happening is that your environment is quietly sabotaging your drive. Every time you bring up a goal, they roll their eyes. Every time you make progress, they shift the conversation. Every time you try to elevate, they remind you of who you used to be. And slowly, piece by piece, you start shrinking just to fit back in. You start making yourself smaller so no one feels threatened. You start lowering your ambition because you don't want to outgrow the people you once loved. But here's the truth. No one wants to admit you cannot grow in soil that's not meant for your roots. You need people who water you, not people who shade you out of jealousy or fear. You need to start surrounding yourself with those who make you feel challenged, not comfortable. Inspired, not stuck. Pushed, not pulled down. Think about this. When was the last time someone close to you genuinely challenged you to rise? When was the last time they looked you in the eye and said, "You're better than this"? Don't settle. Most people won't do that. Not because they don't care, but because your growth threatens their comfort. Your drive reminds them of what they've ignored in themselves. And instead of leveling up, they try to hold you back so they don't feel left behind. You've got to get real with yourself. Are the people around you elevating your standards, Or are they validating your excuses? Are they celebrating your discipline? Or are they silently hoping you fail so they feel more comfortable staying where they are? The people you allow into your inner circle are either anchors or engines. Some hold you down, others lift you higher than you ever thought possible. If you're constantly pouring into others but never being refueled, you'll burn out. If you're always the one pushing but no one's pushing you back, you'll plateau. Iron sharpens iron, but only if the other person is sharp. You don't need people who clap for you when it's convenient. You need people who hold you to your highest potential, even when it's uncomfortable. You need friends who check your blind spots, who won't let you slide into old habits, who call you out when you're making excuses, and who remind you what you're capable of when you forget. That kind of circle. It's rare, but if you want to win, you need to build it intentionally. And here's the hard part. Sometimes that means letting go of the people you've known the longest. Loyalty doesn't mean tolerating toxicity. Time spent doesn't equal value added. If someone has been in your life for years but constantly injects doubt, drama or negativity into your mind, you owe it to your future to step away. Not with anger, not with resentment, but with peace. Because your peace and progress must matter more than your history. It's going to feel lonely at first. Growth always creates distance. As you elevate, the air gets thinner. Not everyone can breathe where you're going, but that space, that silence is necessary. It gives you room to find your people. The ones who get it, the ones who push you, the ones who won't let you play small ever again. You need to become obsessed with protecting your environment. Treat your circle like your mind. Don't let just anyone in. Filter out the noise. Choose depth over popularity. It's better to have 2 people in your corner who make you better than 10, who let you decay in comfort. This is about building a life that pulls the greatness out of you every single day. Start seeking out people who live what they preach. People who don't just post about growth, they live it. They practice it when no one's watching. They chase it with quiet intensity. You'll know who they are by how you feel after talking to them. If you leave conversations feeling more focused, more hungry, more grounded, you're in the right room. If you leave drained, distracted, and full of doubt, it's time to walk away. Get around winners. Get around doers. Get around people who don't make excuses, who don't waste time, who are addicted to growth like you are. People who wake up thinking about how to be better, not how to avoid responsibility. People who will hold you to your word, not let you slide because it's easier. People who aren't intimidated by your progress, they're inspired by it. And if you can't find those people yet, become that person first. Be the standard. Be the one who shows up consistently. Be the one who sets the tone. Because once you step into that energy, you attract others who are on the same frequency. Your tribe is built through your discipline, your values and your vision. It's not just about who supports you, it's about who stretches you. Look for those who make you uncomfortable in the best way. The ones who don't let you settle for average. The ones who see your blind spots and love you enough to call you out. That's how you grow. That's how you evolve. That's how you stay sharp while others get dull. Too many people waste years trying to carry relationships that no longer align with who they're becoming. Stop dragging dead weight. Stop shrinking to be accepted. Stop apologizing for wanting more. Your life is too short, and your potential is too massive to keep compromising for people who don't even believe in themselves. You don't owe anyone your stagnation. You owe yourself your greatness. And don't think this is about becoming cold or cutting everyone off. It's about alignment. It's about choosing your future over your comfort zone. The people who truly care about you will understand. And if they don't, they were never meant to go where you're headed. Let them stay where they are. You keep climbing. You have to ask yourself, do you want to be liked, or do you want to be legendary? Because you will not have both. Legends are misunderstood before they're admired. They are doubted before they're respected. And they are alone before they are surrounded by the right ones. So build your circle with intention. Audit your relationships with courage. Protect your energy like your life depends on it. Because it does. The right people in your life will change your mindset, your momentum, and your entire destiny. They'll speak life into you when the world tries to shut you down. They'll remind you who you are when you forget. They'll make your standards rise just by being around them. That's the kind of tribe you deserve. That's the kind of environment that transforms potential into power. So start today. Get clear on what you want in your life and who belongs in that version of you. Then slowly, steadily build that environment. One conversation, one connection, one bold choice at a time, and watch how everything begins to shift. Surround yourself with people who light fires under your goals, not the ones who pour water on your dreams. Your future self will thank you. And one day when you're standing at the top, looking back at how far you've come, you'll realize it wasn't the hustle alone that got you there. It was the people who walked beside you, pushed you when you slowed down, and reminded you every day that greatness was your birthright. Don't settle for average circles. Find your tribe, or build it. Either way, rise with those who refuse to let you fall. Chapter 9. Rebuild your confidence by doing hard things daily. Confidence doesn't come from comfort. It's forged in the furnace of relentless challenge. If you want to rebuild your confidence, there's no shortcut, no magic pill, and no motivational quote that can replace the power of doing the hard things every single day. Confidence is not a feeling you wait for. It's a muscle you develop by showing up when it's easier to quit, by staring discomfort in the face, and by pushing through moments when your mind screams for relief. Imagine for a moment standing at the edge of a daunting task, the kind that makes your heart race and your palms sweat. That moment, that sharp sting of fear and uncertainty, is where confidence is born. It's not the absence of fear, but the decision to act anyway that shifts you from doubt to unshakable belief in yourself. Every time you choose to do what's difficult, you tell your brain, I am capable, I am resilient, I can endure. But here's the thing, most people avoid discomfort because it's painful, unpredictable, and exhausting. They tell themselves that confidence will come once the hard part is behind them, or once success is achieved. That's a lie. Confidence is the process. It grows incrementally with each challenge you face head-on, and each small victory you claim over hesitation, distraction, or fear. Think about the last time you felt truly proud of yourself. Was it an effortless moment? Probably not. More often, pride comes from the scars earned by doing what others refuse to try. It comes from grinding through failures, enduring criticism, and standing back up each time you were knocked down. Rebuilding confidence is about stacking these moments deliberately, day by day, until your mind knows no other way but strength. You don't have to leap into the impossible immediately. Start with what feels just outside your comfort zone. That difficult conversation you keep postponing. The early morning workout when your body begs for sleep. The uncomfortable task at work that you'd rather avoid. Each of these tiny acts of courage is like a brick in the foundation of your new confidence. It's in the repetition, not the grand gesture, that real transformation happens. What's remarkable is how doing hard things rewires your brain's narrative about who you are. It's no longer, "I'm scared," or "I can't handle this." Instead it becomes, "I faced the challenge, and I survived and grew." Your internal dialogue shifts from self-doubt to self-trust. Your mind learns to expect resilience rather than resistance. Over time, that rewiring becomes permanent, turning hesitation into eagerness. Let me tell you about a man I once knew. He had lost his job, his confidence shattered, and his spirit buried under years of setbacks. The world told him to give up, but he made a choice. Every day, he committed to one hard thing. Sometimes it was as simple as going for a walk when depression tried to pin him down. Other days, it was sending out job applications despite repeated rejections. Slowly but surely, those small actions rebuilt his confidence. He began to believe in himself again, not because he was suddenly lucky, but because he had earned it through effort. That same man is now a leader, inspiring others with the very story that once threatened to break him. Your journey will have days when your courage feels thin. That's expected. On those days, remember that confidence is not about feeling invincible. It's about persisting even when you don't feel ready. It's about showing up for yourself when the world feels like it's against you. This consistency, this stubborn refusal to quit, is what separates those who rebuild their confidence from those who remain trapped by their fears. One powerful technique to harness this daily rebuilding is to keep a courage log. Write down the hard things you do each day. No matter how small, this simple act creates undeniable proof of your growth. When doubt creeps in, you'll have a record that shouts, "Look what you did. Look how far you've come." This shifts your mindset from scarcity to abundance, reminding you that every struggle you face is fuel for your confidence. Also, beware of waiting for motivation. Motivation is fickle, often arriving only after you start moving. The secret is to commit to action first, and trust that confidence and motivation will follow. This flips the usual script, no longer a slave to your emotions, but the master of your behavior. You take control by building habits that force you to confront hard things daily, even when your brain resists. It's important to recognize that the hard things you choose must push you meaningfully. They need to challenge your limits, not just busy work that feels productive, but changes nothing. Ask yourself, what scares me? What task am I avoiding? What uncomfortable truth am I refusing to face? Those are your targets. Each time you engage with these, you're not only doing the work, you're telling your subconscious, "I am stronger than my fears." Rebuilding confidence also requires a radical redefinition of failure. Failure isn't the enemy, it's the catalyst. Every time you fail at a hard task, you gain priceless data. You learn what doesn't work, how to adjust, and where your true strength lies. Embracing failure as feedback frees you from the paralysis of perfectionism and gives you permission to try boldly and learn rapidly. Don't fall into the trap of measuring confidence by comparing yourself to others. Your progress is yours alone. The hardest battles are often invisible. The moments when you decide to push through anxiety or self-doubt are deeply personal victories that no one else can quantify. Trust your process and be patient. Confidence rebuilds quietly and steadily, like roots growing deep beneath the surface before a tree bursts through the ground. One of the most profound benefits of doing hard things daily is how it changes your relationship with discomfort. Instead of running from it, you begin to embrace discomfort as a signpost of growth. You stop fearing the unknown and start seeking it because you know that's where transformation lives. This mindset shift makes you unstoppable, not because the challenges vanish, but because your spirit becomes unbreakable. As you rebuild your confidence, you'll notice your energy shifts. You'll become magnetic to opportunity because you radiate resilience. Doors will open not because you're perfect, but because you're courageous enough to walk through them anyway. People will respect you not because you boast about your strengths, but because your actions demonstrate them every day. Let today be the day you decide to never settle for less than the confidence that comes from relentless effort. Understand that confidence is not a destination but a daily battle, a fight you win by choosing hard over easy, growth over comfort, and courage over fear. Begin small but think big. Let every hard thing you do remind you who you are becoming, a person who doesn't wait for life to be easier, but becomes stronger through every challenge. This is how you reclaim your power. This is how you rebuild your foundation. This is how you create a future where confidence is no longer fragile but unshakable. If you take one thing away from this, let it be this: you cannot build confidence by avoiding the hard things. You build it by leaning into them, again and again, until your fear breaks and your strength takes its rightful place. So ask yourself, what hard thing will you do today that your future self will thank you for? What challenge will you face that others run from? What discomfort will you embrace that will transform your entire life? There is no better time than now, no better moment than this one. The hard path is waiting. Step into it and watch your confidence rise in ways you never imagined possible. Now go. Do the hard things. Rebuild your confidence from the ground up and become the unstoppable force you were always meant to be. Chapter 10. Stay loyal to your purpose even when it's hard. Loyalty to your purpose isn't a feeling that comes and goes. It's the unyielding commitment that keeps you standing when everything inside screams to quit. Every great achievement, every meaningful life is powered by the kind of loyalty that refuses to waver in the face of pain, doubt, and uncertainty. Staying true to your purpose when the path gets steep, when the nights are long and cold, is the defining moment that separates those who live small from those who leave a legacy. The question isn't whether it will be hard, because it will, but whether you have the strength to stay loyal even when every part of you wants to run. Think about the times you felt the pull to give up, the moments when the obstacles felt bigger than your willpower, and the noise of failure drowned out the voice of your dreams. In those moments, loyalty is your anchor. It's the quiet, fierce promise you make to yourself that no matter the cost, no matter the pain, you will not abandon what you know to be true inside your soul. Purpose is more than a goal. It's a deep alignment with who you are and what you're meant to contribute. It's the fire that burns beneath the surface, calling you forward even when the world pushes back. But loyalty to this fire demands sacrifice. It demands discipline when motivation fades. It demands faith when results don't come fast enough. It demands that you carry on with grit when hope feels fragile. I want you to imagine a warrior in battle, not surrendering despite wounds and weariness. That's how you must show up for your purpose, not with hesitation or second guessing, but with fierce resolve. Because every time you choose loyalty over comfort, you build an inner fortress that no external circumstance can shake. You will face doubts, voices inside your mind that whisper, "Is this worth it?" Or maybe you're chasing something impossible. These voices aren't your enemy. They are the test. The deeper your loyalty, the louder these doubts become, because your growth threatens the safety of the familiar. The key is not to silence these doubts, but to refuse to let them dictate your actions. There's an undeniable truth. Loyalty to purpose is not a path lined with easy wins or constant validation. It's a path often walked alone in silence, where progress is invisible and pain is constant. Yet it is here, in this lonely commitment, that true transformation is forged. Each step forward is a testament to your character and your refusal to be defined by temporary setbacks. One of the most powerful tools to maintain loyalty is to remember why you started. The initial spark, the moment when your purpose was born, holds untapped energy and clarity. Revisit it often. Let that memory pull you through the darkest valleys. When everything else feels uncertain, your why becomes the unwavering lighthouse guiding you safely to shore. But don't mistake loyalty for stubbornness. Loyalty is intelligent. It adapts without losing essence. It listens, learns, and evolves, but it never compromises the core of your purpose. It's about holding your vision steady, even when the route changes, adjusting your tactics without losing sight of the destination. Many give up because they mistake difficulty for failure. They believe that struggle means they are on the wrong path. This is a trap. Struggle is part of the process. It's the universe's way of testing your commitment. Every obstacle is an invitation to dig deeper, to show up bigger, and to affirm your loyalty. To stay loyal, you must also build a daily practice of reaffirmation. This is not about grand declarations but simple acts, quiet moments of reflection, journaling your progress, reminding yourself of the impact you want to make. These small rituals fuel your resolve and protect you from drifting into doubt. Surround yourself with symbols of your purpose. These are anchors in moments of wavering. A photo, a phrase, a song, anything that connects you back to your deepest commitment. These symbols act like mental bookmarks, snapping you back to your true north when the chaos of life threatens to pull you off course. There will be days when loyalty feels like a heavy chain, when the cost seems too high and the rewards too distant. On those days, look back at the sacrifices you've already made and the strength you've gathered. Remember, every step forward, no matter how small, builds momentum. The power lies in the consistency of showing up even when it hurts. I want to share a story. A woman with a vision so bold that everyone around her doubted her sanity. She faced rejection, failure, and betrayal. Her purpose was questioned repeatedly. Yet she stayed loyal, not because she was naive, but because she understood that the hardest battles produce the strongest warriors. Today her work touches millions, not because the road was easy, but because she refused to abandon her mission. Her loyalty transformed obstacles into stepping stones. Loyalty to purpose also means accepting that your journey will change you. It will strip away old beliefs, test your patience, and force you to confront your weaknesses. This process can be painful, but is necessary. Embrace this transformation as part of the price for living a life aligned with your true calling. This loyalty demands courage. The courage to face criticism without shrinking, to keep going when results are slow, to say no to distractions that dilute your focus. It's a relentless commitment to yourself and your vision, even when recognition is absent and doubt feels loud. One practical way to strengthen this loyalty is to create a purpose contract with yourself. Write down your mission and sign it as a promise that no matter what happens, you will not abandon your cause. Read it every morning. Let it be your personal vow that anchors your decisions and actions. Another critical aspect is to guard your energy fiercely. Purpose is a flame that needs fuel, but it can also burn out if you give your power away to negativity, toxic relationships, or distractions. Stay vigilant about what you allow into your mental and emotional space. Protect your focus as if your life depends on it, because it does. Loyalty is not a one-time choice. It's a daily decision. It's waking up each day and choosing your purpose over convenience. It's saying yes to discipline when your body begs for rest. It's refusing to let temporary setbacks define your story. You must learn to embrace the discomfort of loyalty. It's uncomfortable to stay committed when the world tempts you with easier options. But that discomfort is a sign that you're growing. It's a sign that you're becoming the person who can carry the weight of your purpose with honor. When you feel like quitting, remember that the greatest achievements in history were made by those who stayed loyal long after the crowd gave up. Their loyalty was the unseen force that turned dreams into reality and ordinary lives into extraordinary legacies. This loyalty will change everything: your mindset, your habits, your relationships. It will force you to prioritize what truly matters, cutting away the noise that distracts and drains you. It will sharpen your focus and deepen your resilience. Now is the moment to commit. No matter how tough the journey becomes, promise yourself that you will remain loyal to your purpose. Let this commitment be the foundation upon which you build everything else. Your purpose is waiting for your loyalty. It demands your courage, your patience, your unwavering faith. Don't let fear or doubt steal what only you can give. Rise up and stay loyal. The world needs what you were born to offer. Stand firm, keep moving forward, and watch how your loyalty transforms your life into a powerful story of purpose fulfilled. Take this moment to vow, to yourself and to the future you desire, that you will never turn back. That no matter the storms ahead, your purpose will be your compass, your strength, your reason to keep going when everything else tries to pull you down. The path is hard, yes, but the reward is beyond measure. Loyalty to your purpose is the greatest act of courage you will ever make. Make that choice now and become unstoppable.